Guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be replacing my radiator, and I'm going to be replacing it because of this right here. This is the reason why we are replacing the radiator. As you can see, it's kind of red, so that means it's rusted. Inside there you can see all the brown part and everything, so we are replacing this radiator because of that. The first thing we are going to do is drain the radiator of its coolant. So the drain plug is alright. So the radiator drain plug, it's basically to the left hand side of the car, and it's basically just this white plastic piece. You're gonna turn it counterclockwise. As soon as you start doing that, you're gonna drain some of the fluid, and then you just need a pan to drain the fluid out from under there. Make sure you don't make a mess. Alright, so the next step you guys want to do after draining the radiator is remove it from the chassis. As you can see, this is the radiator support. This nut broke inside the threads, so I just need to remove this one. And then there's also one on this side, but as you can see, this one didn't break, but this one did, and I was able to remove it. So just make sure that you remove it and you disconnect it from this reservoir of coolant as well. Disconnect this line, and also just make sure your battery is disconnected as well before you start any job. You can disconnect it from this side, so this side should be a lot easier to disconnect. You also want to remove this support for this AC line. So these are all 10 millimeters, so you just remove that. So the next step you want to do after that is disconnect the fans from the power source. As you can see, the wiring loom, it goes around the vehicle, so you want to disconnect the fans before you try and remove the radiator. Okay guys, so there's not just one connector, which is this top one. There's another one down there, as you can see, where the red wire goes. You also have to disconnect that. You have to push on this middle part, and then you should be able to release it and just pull the connector apart carefully so you don't break it. So one little trick that I just learned is that this wire doesn't really connect to the radiator, it just rests on the radiator. So it's still connected, as you can see, on both ends, but there's like a little metal slot, and that's where this wire rests. So you can just literally pull it a little bit up, and then it should just slide out. Alright guys, so you also have another connector down all the way over here. Let me see if I can show you guys where it is. It's over here on this corner. So let me see if we can be able to see that. You can see the gray part right there. This is your connector. You can see it right there. You have to disconnect that as well to disconnect this fan from this side, and hopefully you should be able to remove your radiator after disconnecting this last connector. Alright guys, so once you remove the radiator, you're going to have to remove the fans from the radiator. Now this car, or this setup, uses 3 screws for each fan. So it has one here, and it has one down here. That one is pretty rusty. This is for automatic Preludes. This car was converted from auto to manual. So this is just to cool the transmission. The manuals don't need this, so we're not going to be using this. And then we're also going to remove the 3 screws from this fan as well. As you guys can see, this is the new radiator, and this is what it looks like. So we're just going to repeat the process, the reverse order of the process how we took the fans off. Basically the same thing. The 3 screws put the fans where they were, and just be careful not to break any connections down here and these. Alright, so I'm going to be sanding this same thing down, this same metal plate for the fan, because it's rusted and I don't want it to rust the radiator. So I'm going to spray it with some rust inhibitor and then sand it down and then paint it black again. Alright guys, as you can see, that's how you replace the radiator on your Honda Prelude. I have no leaks, everything is plumbed up, this line is plumbed up. I got a new radiator cap, new hoses that are not leaking, and we have all the coolant staying in the radiator, so everything is working fine. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.